G'day YouTube. This is the last part of the video tutorial on how to build a computer. Like I said in the last video, there were some troubles. This explains why the motherboard is not in the case. Just click on the fan on the video, just click on that, and that'll take you back to the other video and it'll explain why it is not in the case. So now all we've got to do is hook up all the power cables, this big mess of cables here. Now, first things first, untangle them. Okay, your 24 pin, or depending on how old your motherboard is, the 20 pin connector goes with the latch there. To switch hands here to this 24 pin here. Line them up. It'll only go in again one way, so it doesn't go in. You got to put a bit of pressure on it, but not enough to snap the motherboard. Then your 4 or 8 pin CPU power connector, which I cannot find, and here it is. It's under all the bullshit. Oops, didn't sound good. Okay. It's probably the worst way I could have done it, but anyway. So there's your either, depending on the power supply and your motherboard and whatever, you'll need either an 8 pin or a 4 pin. This one's good as it's got both. And depending on your power supply and motherboard again, you may need 2 8 pins for your CPU, but if you do need that, then I guess you'd be experienced enough to not watch this video. So yeah, once again, this just goes in that 8 pin slot there. Yeah, like I said, it'd be either a 4 or an 8 pin. And that just goes in there like that. Sorry, my big hand's in the way. That's done like that. Now, depending on your graphics card, the video also explains why the graphics card's not in the motherboard, placed in the motherboard. You may need a 6 pin somewhere. This one's not a very high-end graphics card, so it doesn't need it, but you get a 6 pin PCIe connector, which, yeah, basically the same way as you've plugged in everything else. Now, so that's your main power done. Make sure your CPU fan is connected in. Graphics card, once again, if you need it. Fans, they'll either be a Molex connector, focus, which is basically a 4 pin connector, and those pins are meant to be straight, don't know why they're bent, or a 3 pin, oh wait, a good example, a 3 pin connector, which goes onto your motherboard. If I can find where, there we go, there's a 4 pin there, but we only want the 3 pins. So if you got a 3 pin plugged into a 4 pin, should look something like so. Focus. You can see the other pin that's not plugged into anything. What else would there have been? Yeah, SATA cables which go into the motherboard just here, and then again these go into your hard drive and optical drive. Come on. Oh, Christ. Yeah, you get it anyway. I think that's about all. Now I'll have a final video of this computer running in its case that it's actually going to go in. It's not going to go in this one. This was just, like I said in the first video, it was just a test bed. It was good to see because, like I said, you can see through perspex. You can't see through aluminium or steel or plastic. But that idea didn't turn out so good. So, yes. Stay tuned. Like I said, I'll have a video of this PC running in its case.